Hello everyone, my name is Kolawole Olarewaju and welcome to this tutorial. In a few minutes, I'm going to go over a few modeling tips that should help CG artists create assets faster. While modeling is a technical art, it's possible to quickly knock out seemingly complex models using very basic tools in your 3D application. This tutorial is targeted at those artists who shy away from creating detailed 3D models, but forget that attention to detail is key to producing professional work. That being said, let's get started. So we're here in 3D Studio Max and I'm going to be basically taking you through my methodology for modeling. Personally, I don't believe there's anything like a complex model. I strongly believe that anything complex can be simplified once it's broken down. I'm going to use an example today, something I got from the net, to kind of take you through what I'm talking about. Now, this is the tentacle for Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man, as you all know. From, at first glance, it looks so complex, so many, so much detail, and gets confusing and overwhelming. But the truth about it is, all this is just repetition. And if you go through most complex models, you realize that there are lots of parts that are repeated. And this is something people overlook, but it's quite important when doing stuff like this. You don't have to go through every painstaking nuts and bolts if you can basically use some effective tools in your 3D application to make the job easier for you. In this particular tentacle, what we can see is basically comprised of one part. If you look closely here, this part here, and I could look at it from a different angle and get an idea of the shape. Now, if I create just that shape, I can create this entire tentacle, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So let's get back to our 3D application and knock this out quickly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with a spline. Now, we're going to extrude this shape. You go to my modifiers, extrude. I'm sure in every other 3D application that you could be able to find something like this. It's quite straightforward. So I'm going to extrude it a bit. Let's say this way. I'm not going to bother about the topology or anything right now because it's basically going to be a rigid object, and I'm trying to just give you basically simple methods to do this, so we don't have to go too detailed with this. So with this basic shape, I'm going to take a look at this again. All right. So there's going to be like an indentation in here, something like a cutout. So I'm going to boolean this out. So I'll take let's use a cylinder. I'll draw it out. I don't have to be too precise. Once everything comes together, all these little details don't matter. So I'm going to pull this out. Let me reduce the radius a bit, it's too big. I want to take a look at that. So this is the part I want to cut out. So let me take it in a bit more. Fine. I'll just increase the size. So once I cut it out, it's smooth. Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to pick this side. Let me convert it to an editable poly. And pick, it's called Pro Boolean in 3D Max. They used to use Boolean before, but whenever you use Boolean is basically to use one object to cut out the other. Once used this, it usually created errors. So this was created. Now I don't know why 3D Max usually keep their old tools, regardless of the advancements they make on them. So it's their problem. So I'm going to pick a Pro Boolean and pick this object, and immediately we see this. So it's cut this out already for me. Now the next thing we're going to do is looking at this. I see that they're kind of like pipes in between these. So I'm going to create something of that nature. Use the cylinder again. Place the cylinder somewhere here. Now I'm not being too precise because I just have a few minutes to show this to you. So usually if I was doing this on my own on a project, I'd really be precise using snapping and all that, as snapping like to surfaces and or whatnot. I'm going to reduce the height segments. It's not really necessary, in this scenario. The sides, too much. Let's just take it down to something reasonable. Something reasonable, because we're not really going to see all this, but it's too much. So I guess the less the polygons, the better. So keep this in there. Reduce the heights. It's alright like this. Okay. So once we have that, we're gonna also create a copy and put somewhere here. Okay. Create another copy. Oh, sorry. Let me just take it across like that. I'm just cloning basically. So part of the repetition I was talking about. All these repetitions are never noticed usually once you see the big picture, once everything is ready. So once we have this, then it will hard to create one down here as well. Let's just do that for the sake of it. Let's put one down here. One last thing I'll do, just to make this a little bit prettier, I'll add let's get a box. Let's draw the box, very tiny box, nothing serious, just for a paddle. I'll move the box up here. Funny enough, I should. Alright, let's try this instead. Since I think I've converted this to an editable poly already. Alright, I'll convert it to an editable poly. I'm going to select these faces here. Then I'm going to insert this. Just bring it in a little. Okay. So once I do that, then I'm going to extrude just a little bit. Low extrude. Okay, bring it down just a bit. Okay. Fine. Okay. Okay, let's just say we have this and we're satisfied with this. Usually what I would do is, if I was working on a proper production, I would clean this up, sort of retopologize all this. But since we're going simple, let's attach everything together. I'll just go here, attach, pick everything, attach. So we have, something of this nature. Let's give it a gray color so we can see the details better. Alright, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line. Okay. Now, this line I've created is basically for sort of cloning this particular object on this across it anyway. I'm gonna make sure the spline is long enough. Just pull it out. Let's just go crazy. Let's just pull it out here. Then let's pull it back. Not too crazy. Then I'm going to select that one. Tools, array. You go. Oh, sorry, not array. Just what's that? Align spacing tool. So pick path. I'll pick this path. Right now it's spaced in 3 points. So I'm just gonna go. Let's say 50. Let me see what happens when I do 50. Fine. I think I'm okay with that. So I'll click apply, and I'll close this. That spline that we have there, let me isolate that because I want to do something to that spline. The spline that we have here, this one, I'm going to, okay, let me check the interpolation. 15 is fine. I'm going to break this into 3 parts because I don't want to break this right now. I just want to kind of show you how it's going to look when it's moving around. So I pick this part. If I do this, it's going to break because this part is not smooth. So I'm going to change this to Bezier corner. I think it should be alright now. Yeah, fine. So let me end isolation. I have my stuff back here. Then let me call this line something else. I'll call it spine. Then I'm going to, let me hide the main one. That's our friend here. Hide it. Select this one. We're going to attach all these together so it's one object. So I'll select all that. Let me convert it to an editable poly so I'll see the rest. Okay, attach. Fine. Okay, it's a lot. So let's go here. Then go down to that one. We'll leave spline or spine because that's not the one we're attaching to this. Fine. So now I have this complex looking object and I would like to move it, in a very interesting manner. So I don't know, this, where's my spline? Let me see, select by shapes. Okay. So my spline now, I'm gonna attach this to the spline so it moves exactly the way the spline is moving. So I'm gonna use, where is it? Path deform. Path deform basically moves any object to a path or spline that you specify. So let's pick our spine. Pick it. And then it goes crazy for a second, but when we say move to path, it conforms to it. Now it's quite interesting because if I move the path, let me do that for you so you see what I'm talking about. Shapes. Let's go to vertex mode. I'm going to pick this part here, move it up. Okay, then I'll pick this part here, move it sideways. There's something interesting, something like that. You can use this for snakes, you can use this for pipes, whatever. It's quite handy. No, I don't want to break that. So what we have here is if we move the percentage, we see that it's moving along the spline. And if we move the spline, we get some interesting some interesting action here. So you could go ahead, render this, get it looking good, give it some nice metal and rust texture, and you're good to go. So after a few final tweaks, we have a complete model. It looks a little bit more detailed right now. I'll show you the final render so you can have a better look. As you can see, it looks more complex than it should, but that's the beauty of this. It's seeing the big picture, working little by little and getting something that looks polished and production ready. So I hope this tutorial was useful to someone. Look out for the others as they come. Remember, you can email me or buzz me on WhatsApp if you have any questions or difficulties. I'll be happy to assist. Till next time, goodbye.